What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's WWE news video is going to be a very intriguing one because in this one I'm going to be talking about exactly when Rey Mysterio plans on retiring. A brand new WWE signing has been confirmed. A UFC star confirming talks with WWE. And this first one that I'm going to be talking about, Lars Sullivan. If you guys remember him, he has been released from his contract with WWE. So shoutouts to Sanchez Taylor off of Wrestle Talk for this article. There's been more news surrounding on the quiet release of Lars Sullivan last month, including whether Sullivan most likely had a non-compete clause. So obviously nobody knew that Lars Sullivan got released. This is all brand new to me. So after reports of Sullivan being released from his contract, fans have been speculating about his future in wrestling. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Sullivan will most likely have the standard 90-day non-compete clause, noting that he was released from contract and didn't quit. Meltzer noted that Sullivan is almost definitely banned from taking bookings for just 90 days. Here's the full quote. The full quote says, quote, "There's a non-compete clause in place. I don't know how that's going to work. Usually when they release somebody, it's a 90-day non-compete, but every situation is different. I think with Pac, if you guys know who Pac is, comment below. I don't know who Pac is. If you guys know who he was in WWE, or even if he was in WWE, let me know in the comments below, because I have no idea. I've heard of the name. I think they're from. I think the guy's from AEW or something like that. I don't know. I don't watch AEW. I don't care to watch it. Just saying. It was different because Pac quit, and that's why he had the non-compete forever. With Lars, it's probably a 90-day non-compete. Okay, never mind. Okay, so apparently it was Neville, WWE's Neville. Okay, that's an odd one. Neville, I'm just going to use his WWE name. Neville was used as an example of someone who was given a longer non-compete clause because he walked out of WWE rather than letting his contract expire or getting released from his contract. Wrestling his last WWE match in September 2017, Neville reportedly walked out of a Raw TV taping in October, causing WWE to freeze his contract, which extended the amount of time he wasn't allowed to compete. Neville eventually returned to the ring at a Rev Pro show in November 2018. Sullivan was released from his contract, so is probably stuck with the default 90-day wrestling ban. After a series of racist, homophobic, and derogatory remarks made by Sullivan years prior were discovered on a bodybuilding forum, he was fined $100,000 by WWE in 2019. This didn't resolve issues many WWE fans had with him, so Sullivan struggled to gain a following when he attempted to return to TV last year. Lars Sullivan has since opened up about being released by WWE, which, okay, so, yeah, so this doesn't really surprise me. I remember like in 2018, 2019, he had, there was a bunch of like bullshit going on, involving the whole situation with the remarks that he made. But let's be honest here. I mean, I know that he was like a main event player in NXT. But when he was announced for a main roster call up, we all knew he wasn't even there. That they were going to do absolutely nothing with him. I'm just saying that right now because let's be honest. I think his biggest push, the biggest push that he got was when he battled against Aleister Black. I believe it was at a takeover. I believe. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's take a look at that. Oh, so, okay, never mind. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, so I believe it was, TakeOver Chicago 2. Yeah, so it was at TakeOver Chicago 2 that he had one of his biggest pushes ever. And it was over, I believe it was over the NXT. Yeah, so it was over the NXT title. Which was a very, very interesting matchup. So yeah, but to be honest here, it didn't surprise me that Lars was gonna be released, and I think the last like big match he had, I think it was Takeover New Orleans. Let me see. I want to see about something. I believe it was TakeOver New Orleans. Let's see. Hang on a second, guys. I'm looking up the card. And yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was indeed NXT Takeover New Orleans. That was when we saw the debuts of both Ricochet and EC3, or I guess the re-debut of EC3. But it was a 6-man ladder match to determine the first ever NXT North American champion, which featured EC3, Lars Sullivan, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, Killian Dane, back when he was a part of the faction known as Sanity, and of course Adam Cole, Bebe, in a ladder match which ended up with a Adam Cole victory, actually. So again, this firing doesn't even surprise me at all. I mean, truth be told, when it comes to the remarks that he made, on social media and whatnot, WWE takes that shit very seriously. Like literally, they take that shit so super seriously. So it doesn't surprise me. But I guess whatever happens to him happens. Whatever he does next, that's on him. All right, you guys. Now we're gonna find out when Rey Mysterio plans to retire. Shout out to Louise Zangor for this article. Speaking with Sports Illustrated, SmackDown star Rey Mysterio confirmed reports that he signed a new contract with WWE last year and opened up about when he plans on finally stepping away from the ring. It was reported last year that Rey Mysterio was actually working for WWE without a contract, but the former WWE champion confirmed in the recent interview that he did re-sign with WWE. He said, quote, "We never made the signing of my new deal public, but there's definitely going to be more time to see Rey Mysterio in WWE." Rey Mysterio did not stop there, as the masked superstar also spoke about when he plans on hanging up his boots and retiring from wrestling after such a storied career. He said, quote, "I'm going to keep wrestling at least until Father Time catches up and says it's time to go." That's an interesting one. During another recent interview, Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic revealed that they both tested positive, obviously for the pandemic, in December, which would explain why they weren't on WWE TV for a few weeks. So, okay, so obviously, again, I know I shouldn't say it, but because it's YouTube, but I'm going to anyway because this is a very interesting matter. COVID-19 is it's real. It's real. And even Drew McIntyre had admitted that on Raw when he tested positive. So YouTube, if you guys are watching this, I I swear, I humbly apologize for actually saying the name. I just had to let the world know. So please forgive me, YouTube, if you guys are watching this. But yeah, again, Drew McIntyre had tested positive actually a few weeks ago, actually. So but honestly, given the fact that Rey Mysterio is in the prime of his career, that's insane. It's insane for him to want to continue, but I mean, even he, it says here, he said that he's gonna keep wrestling until Father Time catches up and says it's time to hang it up. Honestly, truth be told, I know that Dominic Mysterio had admitted at one time that he wants to win the SmackDown tag team titles, at least with his father anyway, and honestly, again, seeing Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio being tag team champions, I would love to see it, but I mean, I think with all of the injuries that Rey has had over the years, with having six surgeries in his left knee, having a torn pectoral muscle back in 2010, or I guess I would say 2010, right around mid 2010. The big question is, when is enough enough? I think that right there is the big question. But Rey Mysterio, Rey wants to continue, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. Alright, you guys, a brand new signing has been confirmed. Shoutouts to Sanchez Taylor once again. And truth be told, it's actually a former student of WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. And he had confirmed that one of his students has been signed with WWE. And it was reported last month by Dave Meltzer that AQA, Angela Queen Arnold, was one of the new Performance Center recruits. Booker T has recently confirmed this to be true. That's pretty cool. In an interview with Jim Varsalone of the Miami Herald, Booker T revealed that his former student had recently signed with WWE, stating that he likes to think he still contributes to pro wrestling with his school. He referenced AQA's signing, noting that opportunities such as WWE Backstage allow him to give his students, quote, the rub, end quote. He said, quote, I love still being a part of the company, watching the growth, watching the young guys still do their thing, still being relevant and giving back to my school. One of my students, AQA Angela, just got signed with WWE. For me to still talking about it on WWE Backstage and giving certain guys the rub and boosting their career is really cool. AQA made her name on the independent scene, wrestling for Shimmer and Rise, competing on TNA Impact versus Reality of Wrestling, Deep Impact in 2019. AQA notably wrestled Tessa Blanchard, Su Yung, and Hyan. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, again, I think a big congrats is in order as far as when we'll see AQA in NXT. That remains to be seen. Obviously there's a lot of time that needs to be taken in. Having trained at the Performance Center for such a long time, And then once you're and then obviously too, once the coaches and once management sees what you can do, they end up giving you a spot on NXT TV, give you a match, and then you end up going from there. So that's pretty awesome. That is super awesome. All right, you guys, a UFC star talking with WWE. We know about Daniel Cormier wanting to be in the WWE as a SmackDown commentator, which I did talk about that in one of my in one of my videos, which you guys should check out. This one is different. Paige VanZant. Sanchez Taylor, shoutouts to you. A former UFC competitor has confirmed that she did visit the WWE Performance Center, stating she is definitely open to working for WWE. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Paige VanZant revealed that rumors of her visiting the Performance Center in Orlando are true, noting that she went to get a sense for what pro wrestling is all about. VanZant told Van Vliet that there is a level of communication between her and WWE, confirming that she'd be interested in signing a WWE contract. VanZant admitted that she feels like she'd take to wrestling quickly with her background, not wanting to bite off more than she could chew. VanZant confirmed that she'll think about wrestling training after she eventually retires from MMA. She says, quote, "Yes, I have visited their campus, the Performance Center in Orlando. I was able to go visit and look around and kind of get a sense for what it's all about. Communication is actually there sometimes, so we're able to communicate and show our interests with each other. And once there's a little bit more free time in my schedule, I think that's something I would like to really pursue." When asked if she has any interest in working for WWE, she replied, I get asked about WWE a lot, and I do feel like there's something I would be very I would be very good at, because I kind of have the best of both worlds. I was a dancer when I used to Hold on. I was a dancer where I was used to the entertainment and the showmanship side of it. Okay. Basically show it off. And the combat sports side obviously goes into the WWE. I don't think that it's something that I could do both bare knuckle FC and pro wrestling. At the same time, I feel like I would want to do that 100%. So maybe it's something that after I'm done fighting in a cage and in a ring, that maybe I'll go over there. But the door is definitely open. WWE and UFC have shared a lot of fighters over the years. After leaving WWE in 2004, Brock Lesnar tried his hand at MMA. After conquering the Octagon, Lesnar returned to the WWE in 2012, making sporadic appearances for UFC since. Other MMA fighters have transitioned to the square circle, including Ronda Rousey, Matt Riddle, Sonya Deville, and Shayna Baszler. VanZant makes her bare knuckle fighting championship debut on Friday, fighting Britain Hart. Okay, so again, Lesnar, Rousey, Riddle, Sonya, Shayna, and even also Bobby Lashley as well. A lot of people forget Bobby Lashley had competed on Bellator for a pretty good while, and then Batista actually did his share in MMA at one time as well. CM Punk transitioned over to the UFC literally just a couple years ago and lost both of his matches, which, yeah. But honestly, I think Paige VanZant coming over to WWE, I think it's great. Hell of an idea. Being able to show off, what she learned, not just in bare knuckle fighting, but also in the UFC, bringing that to the WWE, awesome idea. But That brings me to the question of the day. That brings me to my question of the day. If she gets signed to WWE, who would you want to see Paige VanZant face off first? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more WWE news videos, which gets posted every Thursday, unless if something else comes up, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, because in 2021, this year, I am doing fan mail. So if you guys want to send fan mail and you want to see me open it up here on the channel, my address will be in the description. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.